Come on up.
Well, thanks. Can you hear me back there? Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe I should just have them say that again. Would that be good enough? So, pretty typical. If anyone has ever heard me talk, I always need some props. So I brought some props, and we'll get to these later. But the policy wonks can look up these case numbers while I'm talking. So I've been looking at signs like this since 1987 when I moved here, and this is an amazing place. I love living here. The mountains, the parks, the trails, getting out with my kids. I taught them that if we come back clean, we did it wrong. Growing my businesses here have been amazing. I had a wholesale business I sold. My company Bosco's is tightly woven in the fabric of Anchorage's pop culture. And I own a couple commercial properties, and things have just gone really, really great with the businesses, well enough so that I am fairly certain I will never, ever have to work as an economist again. So, now, about 20 years ago, my daughter's bought a house, and I think like most people, you write that property tax check, and you're thinking about, what are the schools like? So I'm thinking, okay, well, how's the city work? Where does the money go? So I went to a community council meeting. It was in the Sand Lake area, and the first meeting, the chair was Glenn Kravitz, who I think I saw here. Where's Glenn? He's right here. So who would think what that led to? And I will only give you a brief summary. But I learned at the community council meeting that city government is not that far away from us. I mean, we had real live assembly members right in front of us talking to us just like they're normal people. It was so cool and unexpected. So, and I learned through the community council that you get a group of people together, in that forum or doing whatever, you can get some things done. And it was a revelation to me that was very cool. So it's like the earlier you get involved, the more impact you can have. So that volunteer opportunity led to others. I moved to the Hillside and got involved with the Mid-Hillside Community Council, which at that time was kind of on life support. The Hillside East Community Council was long extinct. After about 5 years, and not alone, Lance Powell was part of reviving those. Tom Newens, who's not here right now, took over Hillside East, but we rebuilt those and got those to full boards. Jennifer Johnson helped out on the Hillside East. So after about 5 years of that, I moved on, and I was chair of the Anchorage Citizens Coalition for a little while, a couple years, and that was a great education on how cities grow, what's important to cities, and what destroys great cities. So just learned tons there. And then I moved on for 3 years to the Planning and Zoning Commission. And the Planning and Zoning Commission is a front row seat to development in Anchorage. It is just amazing. It's just a huge amount of work, but you learn so much. It was really a great opportunity to be on that commission. And during that time, I was also on and off the board of HALO, which is a Hillside's Home and Landowners Organization. Chris was the longtime chair. Wayne Westberg is here, was chair before me. And we did a huge amount of stuff for the Hillside through that over the years. I've been involved with the Anchorage Chamber of Commerce, particularly the Municipal Issues Committee. I'm a co-founder with Mark Butler of the Spenard Chamber of Commerce, which helps give that discordant group of hundreds of small business owners a voice on all the variety of issues that go on in that area. So, and also right after Planning Commission, I had the opportunity to get on the board of directors of the truly exceptional Credit Union One, which is just a great organization. So a lot of things were going on, and I was learning. I wanted to see what made Anchorage tick, and let me tell you, I did learn. So developed a lot of knowledge, and that'll help me on the assembly. But one thing I carried throughout that time was very important. It started 13, 14 years ago. I started working on a couple ordinances with the Janice Schamberg. And these were ordinances that had talk radio all abuzz. They were very controversial when they started. And Janice went, she got everyone together. She got friends and foe together, found out what people wanted and what they didn't want and how we can make this thing work. And then she'd get more people involved, and then she'd go back and talk to everyone else again. And we hit a point, I thought, I think, Janice, I think we got this licked, and you can get this through. You got the votes. And she says, no. She goes back, she tweaks it some more. And I'm like, well, I think we're ready. But what she was doing, she wasn't counting votes. She was trying to get the best result for the people involved with each of these issues. And ultimately, when it went to the assembly, the public hearings were very quiet. Few people showed up because she dealt with all those controversial issues already. People were good with it. And that was a great lesson, that it's about getting citizens together, respecting all citizens involved with any issue. It's a great example for me, and I've tried to carry that through in the decade plus since then. So now in this election, you'll hear there are 2 candidates now, 3 candidates, 2 besides me, and there could be more. Through February, people can sign up. One of the candidates is running to balance the liberal mayor. And to me, that's not balance. What you're asking for there is a battle. That's not respectful of citizens of all, stripes. That's someone who's going to count votes and rush stuff through. And I don't support it. It's very different from what I think is effective and proper for Anchorage. Other candidates will come up, and when you look at them and evaluate them, look for experience. Do they have decades of experience learning how Anchorage works? Now, we'll all learn when we get on the assembly, but we don't have time for someone who's starting at 0. We need people who know what's going on. And look for the commitment, because when you get on the assembly, it's a huge amount of work. And we need people who are willing to put in that work. And if they're not, they're just warming a seat, and we can't afford to have that. So watch for those things. And I bring those to you. So we want a good assembly. We want balanced people on the assembly with experience. But governing the city is not just the assembly and the mayor. It's also all the citizens. And we need to make it effective for citizens to take part. Not everyone has time to make a second career like I have. So these signs are not the problem, but they're, to me, a symptom of the problem. How many people have seen signs like this? How many people have called the number to see what it is? I see about 5. How many people called that number and got a response that they thought was helpful? 0. Okay, well, this one was, this one was a rezone to allow a 70-foot tall apartment complex in a neighborhood of 35-foot tall buildings. Okay, pretty big deal, but it doesn't say boo. Okay, this one was simply an extension of a site plan review that was actually when I was on the Planning Commission. And this is for a variance for the museum because they're expanding. Now, how hard would it be to say on there what these are for? To put I challenge you to go to muni.org and find information on these case numbers. I've been doing it for years, and I still can't do it. It's a challenge every time. So these are some simple things that it just makes it hard for citizens to get involved, and you should be involved. So this is for land use things. There's, when we do the budget, it should be way easier for you to see what's going on, any issue that we deal with. And I am totally committed to that, to make it easier for people to get involved. You should be able to go to the website, find what you need, and be able to respond early, because the earlier you get involved, the more effective you are. And we need that. And we need that soon, because we're facing some hard times. I mean, look at the price of oil. We all know, right? The state is cutting the budget. The troopers are out of Girdwood. That's a big deal for everyone, no matter where you live in Anchorage. They took away the revenue sharing from the state. They will not match or pay for the 50 to 60% that they have on school bonds for as long as I've been watching. This is just the start. This year, they're going to have to do some serious cutting, and we're going to see people lose their jobs. We see cutting back in the oil industry. We're going to see people losing jobs there. It will be dramatic, and we need to be ready to deal with this, and we need to be ready now, and you need to be involved, and I want you there. So thank you, everybody, for coming. I think on these streets, you've shown great faith and trust in me to have come. I've done the math for this election. I need 6,501 votes. Everyone matters. On April 5th, 2016. It takes you guys grabbing some signs, and please note where you live on that map with Diane or Mara. It takes people walking your neighborhood with me, and we're taking a list of people for that too, so you can say, I live in your neighborhood, and this is John Weddleton, my friend, who's running for assembly. That's very powerful. I need people to do just 1 hour on weekends to have a little get-together at your house, so we can invite your neighbors and just let them know, I'm in your neighborhood, we could have this conversation. Why am I running? What will I do when I get in? And as Chris said, it is really expensive. I had no idea. So, I know hundreds of people. I need how many votes? 6,501. I don't know that many people, and they don't know me yet, and it's very expensive to get that word out. So please be generous, and I promise I will be generous with the experience I've gained, with the creating balance on the assembly, and the commitment to do the job right. Thank you.